Well, things are getting spicy at the Funimation studios, it would appear. Would appear that Funimation, after this long holiday weekend, is going to have some cleaning house to do when new documents were just dropped that contain some pretty spicy things. Now, who is Funimation? Well, they handle a lot of the dubbing for anime here in the United States, I suppose in the West, you might say. Mostly related to Dragon Ball Z. That's why it's newsworthy. The voice of big characters like Broly and other characters like Vegeta, all very popular voice actors. It's a part of the fandom that I've never really understood. You guys kind of just dragged me into it. Even though I've admitted I'm not an anime dude, I do like to represent fandoms when I can. Because whatever you're into, whether it's anime or video games or Magic the Gathering cards or heck, if you're into mobile games, I don't care. Whatever you're into, that's your thing, and it should be protected. Now, everyone's familiar at this point with the story, essentially having a voice actor canceled from conventions and from continuing to be the voice of Broly in Dragon Ball features, as well as canceled from being able to work with Rooster Teeth on shows over some dad jokes, from what I can understand. Some spicy behavior, but nothing that I would consider that far over the line. And yesterday, we covered some more leaks where people that do voiceovers for the Dragon Ball show were doing some, I don't know what you'd call it, spicy cuts, audio leaks of some unsavory jokes. Now, these jokes did not upset me in any way. The only one that I thought was probably a little too spicy for the pepper was one of the voice actors repeatedly using the bundle of sticks terminology in 2019. Now, I'm not policing your language out there. You say what you want to say. I'm just surprised he's that stupid, especially given supposedly how, I don't know, woke everyone is there and how tightly they clutched at their pearls when Vecna dared. I just said his name. I wonder if I'll have to cut it out. We'll have to see. When he dared to throw a jelly bean, when the man who shall not be named tossed a jelly bean down someone's shirt, and a bunch of other hearsay. Let me be very clear. Hearsay. Now, these audio recordings, these are confirmed. These are real. These are the people. It's very different than the other situation. And then somebody else went under oath to talk about some situations at Funimation. I'll link the full document in the comment section down below. It's very long. There's some spicy shots here. Essentially, what a lot of these affidavits are, I think, enforcing is that, look, maybe what Vic did, out of context, in a vacuum, is inappropriate. Maybe. But I think what their claim is at this point is essentially everybody acted that way. And if you're going to make him go, then everyone has to go. I'm sure he would just like to return to work and get back at it rather than be dealing with all of this. But this is what happens. This is what fighting back looks like. Will he win a giant sum of cash? Probably not. Will some of these other people be drugged down with him? Yeah, probably. And just looking at some of the leaks that came out today, very deep into this document. Here, look at this one. Where's the one? Here. Chuck Huber's affidavit, which he wrote yesterday, is, Sabat is in trouble. Now, that is the voice of Vegeta. Point 41. When Dragon Ball Kai was being recorded in 2007, I heard rumors that actresses had been recast at Funimation Studios for refusing advances by Funimation employees. I consider these rumors credible based on my experience working at Funimation and from direct messages received from a former DBZ cast member. Now, it's important, as we just talked about earlier today, what this person is saying is that they believe rumors are credible. He's not saying that he knows for a fact. But we know that a large sum of people out there don't care. Point 42. I also heard that an actress who participated in Snuggle Time with Funimation and Akatron 5000 employees were cast in roles. I consider these rumors to be credible based on my experiences working at Funimation. Now remember, this is a sworn statement. It's said by many that Sabat is kind of a de facto manager there, given just how popular he is and how much power he has. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't work there. But some people might say he's running a bit of a casting couch here. Sabat made casting decisions based on who would or wouldn't apply the sacred ointment, as a reference to one of their other voiceover projects. Point 74. I contacted Jen Fukunyana. If I hit that, make sure you hit the like button. If I didn't hit it, do it anyway. The then CEO of Funimation, to discuss my concerns with Chris Sabat's gaslighting of Sean Schemmel, damaging use of his authority towards actors, and his attempts to destroy my career. In early March 2019, who met with me and advised that Vic would lose and have to pay via something he had learned about called the anti-slap motion. He also, in response to my specific concerns about Chris Sabat, said that he had been friends with Chris for 17 years and he did not believe me. The meeting occurred on March 5th, 2019 at 2:30 p.m. in Jen's office, approximately a month to a month and a half prior to Vic filing his suit. Point 75, and this one's very interesting when it comes to just an open, an open admission that there is this kind of culture inside of Funimation where they will ruin you if they don't like it, if they don't like you. Now, we know they will in Vic's case. I and my wife fear direct, planned, and specific retaliation from Chris Sabat and those loyal to him in response to this affidavit, and that will be damaging to my reputation and career. That is why Chuck waited to the last minute to file, by the way, because he and both his family believe that Sabat will ruin their life. Now, this is concerning on a couple of levels. If I'm running Funimation, all this stuff continues to come out. The longer and longer this suit goes on, the more and more sworn statements that you get in, the anime community is going to start to take notice. The normie side of this community. And instead of just reining in some, what I can tell, and by the way, look, if there's something out there that everybody else knows and isn't public about Vic, okay, I don't know. I don't know that. All I know is what seems to be is some high schoolish behavior by a work environment that's full of people that behave like high schoolers. At times, Funimation uses provocative imagery to promote its shows, such as Jamie and Monica in this picture, that's Monica Real, to show their blah, blah, blah. In fact, the raunchy environment at times appear to be at conventions attended by its own voice actors. For example, Jamie kissing Vic at the 2010 convention, Arizona, or Monica being spanked. Again, this whole document is full of interesting stuff. There's a part here, a few days later on the 22nd, Ronald began telephoning and tweeting Christopher Sladish, host of Kamea-Con. Ronald accused him of doing bad things, told, yeah. During these telephone conversations, Monica and Ronald both urged him to breach their contract with Vic, despite his explanation that doing so would breach his written contract, and refused to continue doing business with Vic in the future. Ron threatened that Monica would cancel her appearance at Kamea-Con, and that would be, and his company would withdraw financial sponsorship of the convention. Monica likewise made the same statement and said she would convince other voice actors to cancel their appearances at Kamea-Con if he did not do it. Due to Ronald's disclosure of Sony's investigation and Monika's pressure, he ended up canceling Vic's appearance at Kamehacon in breach of the written agreement, and he eventually re-invited him, but only after considerable expense. This document, again, I love it, because it would seem like those people who are obsessed with canceling other people, and this document is huge. You can look through it if you want, or if you want some light reading tonight. But the people that are always, here in this case, in the anime community, as we just talked about earlier in the video game community, it seems like the more people pipe up about how others should act, they're just doing so to cover up their own backyard. They've got a closet overflowing of things that they've done that they prefer people don't find out. So what do? They distract. They get on the other side. It's like they slide over to the good side and they're like, yeah, that guy, that person needs to be canceled. They're naughty. And I wouldn't be surprised if more and more of this type of thing continues to come out. And all of this could have been stopped. All of this could have been avoided if, and only if, the people at Funimation had done what I keep telling people to do: keep this stuff private. And you tell these people that if they want to go on a public clout tour, like Monika and Ron apparently did, then they are in just as much trouble. You let the company look into it, and if you're that company, you better do a fair look into it, because I don't believe Funimation did. I believe Funimation bent the knee to outrage culture, and now they've got to deal with it. They've had an unending slew of negative press affecting every single thing. You go look at their Twitter feed. Go look at Funimation's Twitter feed. Anytime they're tweeting about stuff, you're seeing hilarious memes about the sacred oil and all sorts of other stuff. They can't advertise anything without getting an onslaught of people bringing this up. And this is going to continue to go on as long as this Vic thing continues to go on. So at the end of the day, was it worth it? Was it worth canceling a guy for maybe coming on a little too strong, for tossing a jelly bean when this is the type of behavior that, you know, in your company you exhibit anyway? You all act like a bunch of high schoolers. So what? It's okay when you do it, Monika. But it's not okay when anyone else does it. This whole thing reeks of a next level of high school drama. High school drama has evolved into cancel culture. And it's hitting the video games industry hard right now, about as hard as it can. If you've seen my first video today, it's in the anime community. It's ruining things like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, the franchise. It's bringing into question whether or not Funimation will be able to continue to do these type of projects. The dub work for Dragon Ball has already been brought up into question by several people in Japan. So who knows how far this is going to go. Ultimately, I think what's going to happen is if... Oh my God, Andy, you stink. Ugh. Yeah, my dog has the worst gas. That's because he eats the cat food when I'm not looking. I'm leaving that in. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer. Anyway, all of this could have been avoided if people weren't looking for clout. All of this could have been avoided if people just learned how to act like adults. That's including you, Vic, too. You're too old to be doing this stuff. Act your age. And to everyone else involved, I hope it was worth it. My guess is if you're Ron, if you're Monika, if you're Sabat, now that this is coming out, Mr. Sabat's alleged couch of you get the job or you don't get the job. Again, it's a statement. However, it's a little different than the tweet, as they've sworn to the authenticity of it. Okay? That's different than somebody sending a tweet. This is a much further level. We'll see how things work out for Funimation. I doubt they're having a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hey, if you're still hanging out, there's a subscribe button right on the screen right now. Make sure to click that, turn notifications on. And if you want to see the next video, that should also be hovering around the screen. Thanks so much for watching this and for supporting the channel. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and, turn on notifications and like the video.